What's up guys, it's Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my career mode here for Monaco, and it's a big one on the calendar and one that I'm very much looking forward to. But first of all guys, if you have missed the video I uploaded earlier on today, it was Kart with Callum, the first of 3 uploads today, the second of 3 uploads today, and the Kart one, the first one of the 3 uploads. Now do urge you to go check it out in the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screen. But it's a very busy day today on the channel, and 3 videos of MotoGP coming later on today with a MotoGP class debut. But here we are then for career mode, and Monaco, one of the crown jewels in this calendar, and Monaco, a track that should suit the car quite nicely because the Audi car does naturally have a lot of downforce. And jumping straight to qualifying, the first lap gets us on pole, but eventually after a few of the big boys set their lap times, we dropped down to P7, and I was doing this sort of some okay lap times, nothing spectacular. I was trying to get used to the game because I've been on the F1 2017 beta a lot recently, but as you can see, as I come across the line on my second attempt, I do go fastest there, so I do make a bit of an improvement, and then eventually later on in the session I'll go back out for one more run on my last set of ultra soft tyres, and we're going to ride entirely through this lap now as we go into turn 1, third gear corner, pick up the apex, try to not lock up too much, otherwise you're going to go straight into the wall. Then crucial to pick up some clean traction on the exit as we go up the hill now into Massenet, turn 4 I believe. 4th gear corner, you can maybe use 3rd, I like 4th, and then you flick it right through Casino Square, over the little bump, then pull it over to the left hand side for Mirabeau, 2nd gear corner, avoid the inside wall, I just clip it slightly in my right rear, which isn't ideal, then drop it down the 2nd gear, possibly first for the lowest hairpin, the slowest corner in Formula 1, then through a sort of downhill right hand as it feeds into Portier. Very easy to pick up the inside wall there, you've got to be very careful as you pick up some good traction on the exit of Portier there, and now through the tunnel, through the bank's right hander, and now into the Nouvelle chicane, down the 2nd gear for the apex, avoid the inside wall, use the curb, and then try to squat the power on the exit, get some good clean traction as we now approach to back. Drop it down to 4th gear, you can maybe use 5th if you want to, get the nose in, flatter or through the swimming pool complex in the first part, and then drop in a couple of gears for the second modified complex of the swimming pool, but just tap the wall on the right hand side, and now into Raskas, nice run through there, just about avoiding the wall, and now into Anthony Nose, the final corner, open up the DRS. It's been a pretty much perfect lap around here with the exception of the wall tap at to back, and it's going to improve our lap time slightly, and that's going to cement us pretty much for pole position here at Monaco, and a very good lap there in qualifying. And the Audi car working beautifully, but crucially, you can see on the screen right now a few penalties to dish out. Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, and Pierre Gasly with penalties. So that's going to be a bit of an interesting one. That's going to set Lewis and Vettel back quite severely around a track where you can't really overtake. So that means Sainz and Bottas are going to be the nearest guys to us in the race start tomorrow, and also Alonso's going to get a nice little promotion. So it's going to hopefully set us up for a tasty little race for tomorrow in the race for the Monaco Grand Prix. Right, so here we are for Monaco. It's the crown jewel of the calendar, and 5 rounds in, we're looking pretty damn good in the championship, and I was so pleased with the last race. And if you guys did miss the last race, like I said at the start of the video, I do urge you to go check it out before you begin watching this race. But wow, what a race last time out, and hopefully I can do more of the same here today. This is Monaco. The AI are known for being a little bit slower around this particular circuit, and that's the reason why I've bagged it on pole position here, and I feel really good about my chances here today. And as long as I get into the first corner in first place safely, then I like my odds around this circuit. But we're going to look at this race strategy quickly here, and it's a very straightforward one. Tyre wear is not a major issue, and it's going to be a comfortable one-stop with the Ultra Soft leading on to the Super Soft tyre. So a one-stop strategy here at Monaco today. So let's try and make it work for ourselves. Also underfueling the car by quite a bit because you can save a lot of fuel around this circuit, and especially around here I tend to drive with very high gears and sort of short shifting quite a lot. So hopefully that works out for us quite nicely. We've got a few grid penalties behind us, which is going to make the grid very interesting, but we're still in first place. It's not going to affect us in one single bit, so it's going to promise to be a very exciting race. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it now for the Monaco Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. Carlos Sainz in P2 behind me, Bottas direct behind me, who's matching me in first place, but far very light somewhere away from Monaco, and Sainz has had a pretty good start on my outside here in the Red Bull car, so I'm going to have to take the inside line to turn 1. Sainz is still there though, so I'm going to have to leave him the room, pick up the traction. Sainz has just got me though out of turn 1. Bottas, like I said before, the joint championship leader with me behind me there, but we've lost the place at the start to Carlos Sainz, and he's going to be wanting to try and push hard here today and make a break for it in the Aston Martin Red Bull car, who really do need a big result very soon, because I know in the next race in Canada, I know Audi have an upgrade plan, so hopefully it's going to help out the engine speed situation and I believe Ferrari have a big upgrade for Canada, so we'll see how that one unfolds. But right now we are behind Sainz, and now Pierre Gasly out of the Monaco Grand Prix here. Will that trigger a safety car, virtual safety car? We'll have to wait and see, but for now it looks like nothing's been given, so we're going to continue on here doing our thing, sitting behind Sainz as we now make our way through lap 1. And so far so good, just trying to find a rhythm here. Obviously race fuel in the car, so the car's going to be a little bit heavier and not feeling as good as qualifying, so we've got to take it very easily through here and make it work. Obviously we don't know what strategy also Sainz and Bottas are on, but hopefully it's same one as me and I can make mine work and possibly undercut Sainz, because you can undercut with quite a few laps in the bag here because tyre wear is not a concern. So here we go then, end of lap 1, behind Sainz still, and let's see if we can try and be sent off for a move around this circuit where overtaking is a very daunting task and a very impossible prospect. So let's see if we can try and set ourselves up for a move here on the Spaniard. Okay, I'm literally pushing Sainz through the final corner here, so I'm going to have a nice run on him. Even though I haven't got a lot of straight line speed in this car, I'm going to be right on his toe as we go into turn 1. Can I go for the move on the brakes? I'm going to be brave, but Sainz is even more brave by shutting the door on me in turn 1 to set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So it's going to be a very tense battle here. Sainz taking the first round then, defending nicely into the first corner, but my car works really good in the final sector. That's where I'm fastest. So the first and second I'm pretty even with the AI, but the final sector is where I'm like almost half a second faster than anybody else. I just seem to find a lot of time, especially through that swimming pool chicane and to back section. But here we go, still behind Sainz. I think it's going to be I think the carbon copy overtake is going to be the turn 1 overtake. So now we've got DRS enabled this lap, it should be a little bit easier than last lap, so let's try and do the same thing again and try and get to the back of him through the final corner. Right, this time we're close again, just like last lap. Good run through the final corner, open up the DRS, and here we go then. This time we're going to look for the outside because we got shut off on the inside line last time out. Let's can we make it work around the outside? It's going to be very tight. I've made it work though beautifully. Wow, what a move. I think Sainz got caught up on the apex a little bit there, but that was a very comfortable move and I've made it work beautifully. So I'm into first place, and I'd love to see a replay back of that, as now Bottas has actually gotten past Sainz as well. So Sainz has had an absolute calamity there at turn 1. Whatever's happened there has set him back quite severely, but I didn't feel anything through the full seatback, so as far as I know I didn't touch him. Maybe the replays will show a different view of it, but we'll have to wait and see. But either way, into first place. Now we've just got to try and set the pace, lead by example, and try and pull away from the rest of these guys and try and have some good pace here today. Right, towards the end of lap 6 now until lap 7. Pace is absolutely brilliant around here. Fast up of the Grand Prix. Still got plenty of life left in these ultra soft tyres, and the gap to Bottas is getting ever bigger. Sorry, Carlos Sainz. So Sainz has really overtaken Bottas, but the gap to those guys is getting bigger than ever, near the 4-second mark now. And my pace is really good in these tyres. I'm a little bit concerned because even in career mode in past seasons, the Supersols haven't been a great tyre for the race pace. So I want to try and make the most of these because the Supersofts do tend to be a bit of a weird tyre, and the pace overall is not great, and the AI have been faster than me in the past, so I've got to watch out for that one. I've just having like flashbacks of past seasons, and also want to try and keep out any walls to make any silly mistakes like clipping in the inside wall. So knowing me, I probably jinxed myself now saying that, but we're going to try and keep on going here, and so far this is very encouraging pace here at Monaco. Right, on to lap number 11. Pace is still really good around here, almost matching my fast lap of the race, so things are looking good so far, except for that little bit of a mistake there. But pushing the car, finding the limits of the track, and the car feels absolutely hooked up around there as it normally does. And the sort of high downforce setup on the Audi car that we have by default, due to our lack of engine power, is really coming in clutch here and giving us a really good performance around this circuit. And the gap is pretty big now to Sainz, over 6.5 seconds. So things are looking good, keeping control in the race, and very soon it's going to be pit stop time. So we're going to see how that one unfolds. But depending how these tyres feel, I may drag them out a little bit longer because the tyre wear is absolutely fine on these. I mean, just about 30% of the rear tyres, so it's not too bad. I've had worse. I'm saving fuel quite nicely now, and I'm coming back on target. So things are looking good. We've just got to try and negotiate now these next few laps and try and maintain some good pace, and then eventually come in for the pit stops. Okay, so Sainz is coming for his first stop of the race, and I think only stop going on to the super start, I'm going to guess. I'm starting to encounter traffic in the form of Robert Kubica and the Toro Rosso, I believe, with Danny Kvyat. So I think just to try and avoid the traffic and take it easy, we're going to pit in here to try and avoid losing possible time with these back markers. So here we go then, into the pit lane. Let's come in for our first stop here today, and hopefully the only one. So let's try and make it a nice, simple, easy pit stop with no dramas, and try and a nice quick one if possible. Here we go then onto the Red Bull Super Soft tyres, and it's a 3-second pit stop, pretty damn poor. Alonso follows me in, a very slow pit stop there, 3 seconds. Audi seem to be so inconsistent with pit stop times, but here we go then. We're rejoining. Alonso is currently in P2, but that'll be probably short-lived as we now exit the pit lane on super soft tyres. Sainz is coming now through the pit straight. I'm comfortably back out in first place, so it's been a very good pit stop, and I can now once again focus on doing my thing on these tyres. So let's push on now and extend that gap and try and see some good lap times and try and bring this car home in one piece without making any stupid mistakes. Fresh rubber, feeling absolutely brilliant on the car, and there you go, another purple lap. Pace is absolutely brilliant. I'm living in rich mix. The car is just so hooked around this circuit. It's such a joy to drive this car around here, and the high downforce Audi is really coming to its own around this particular circuit. But I'm still thinking in the future here, and even though I'm going to extend my championship lead, the next race is I'm going to hurt a little bit, especially Canada, Baku, and Canada, Austria, and Silverstone, and then obviously Spa and Monza down the line, because the straight line speed is going to be pretty poor in this car. So hopefully the upgrade in Canada is good, but who knows, it may or may not work, so we just have to wait and see how that one unfolds. But right now, let's enjoy what we have. The car's working good, so that's always a good sign. Okay, first bit of traffic in the form of Mick Schumacher. Let's see if he try and lets me out of the way. Sorry, if he gets out of the way and lets me through into turn 1. Let's see what sort of line he takes. It's going to be very awkward. I'm going to lose a little bit of time, but could have got out of the way quite comfortably in the pit strip, but instead decides to get out of the way in turn 1. So very weird place to get out of the way there from the German, but we're still through, we're still in one piece, and that's crucial for us as we keep on going in this race. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm coming up to these huge train lap cars, 4 cars to get past here. It's going to be very dangerous, and hopefully the AI behave themselves. So here we go, we're going to have to negotiate these one by one, starting off with the Russian Danny Kvyat, the torpedo himself. So let's try and get past him safely and soundly as we go into Massenet, now into Casino Square. They've got the blue flag, so they're non-coming. So let's see how they get out of the way now as we go into Mirabeau. Fastest first sector here, but I'm going to get severely compromised now by these guys. So let's see where they get out of the way. Right now, we're going to have to follow them, which is going to be very painful, and it's going to cost me hand over fist in terms of lap time. But here we go into Portier. Does Kvyat get out of the way? No, he doesn't. Right, come on, please move. Right, there we go. He pulls out to the inside sensibly and gets out of my way. So that's a good move there from Kvyat, and sensible blue flag behaviour as we now go into the Nouvelle chicane behind Charles Leclerc. Will he do the same thing as Kvyat? Will he get out of the way? No, I think he's going to keep on going through to back for now. We've got Van Dorn down in P17, so that's a poor one for him. Then also Grosjean down in 16th, then the Haas Monster Racing Car. But here we go. Leclerc, I think, is registered. I'm coming behind him. He's going to leave me very little room, but I'm going to get past him just about. And now we're behind Van Dorn, who's going disappointingly slow in the McLaren car. But here we go. We get past Van Dorn. He gets out of the way quite sensibly. And we've now just got to negotiate Romain Grosjean now through turn 1. Hopefully he moves out of the way quite comfortably, and then we'll be once again back in clean air. We can try and push on here. So here we go through into Casino once again. Please, Grosjean, don't make this hard for me. Right, you know what? I'll take the inside. Oopsie, that was a bit of an aggressive move there. I've lost an end plate, so that's not going to help. Orange end plate damage. He's trying to go back up my inside there, but right, yellowy orange end plate damage is going to affect my downforce a little bit, so we're going to have to keep an eye on it for now. But we've cleared the traffic with some minor front wing damage, so let's just keep on doing our thing now, set some good lap times and see what the damage is like. The car really doesn't want to turn to the corners now as much as it once did. However, if I do come in, that would be committing suicide around this circuit, so I'm going to have to fight it and try and maintain myself with the damage. You saw the lock-up into Massenet, which is something that doesn't really occur, so we're going to have to try and defend ourselves here with some front wing damage. Hopefully we don't lose too much time every lap, but right, let's try and concentrate now and try and bring this car home. We've got 14 laps. If Sainz gets through that traffic comfortably in one piece, then he could be a threat towards the end of the race. As you can see, the team have recommended me a strategy choice, so let's just try and bring it home first and concentrate on the task in hand. 1:17.4. Lap times are really poor. I mean, I'm 2 seconds off what I was doing just a few laps ago. Sainz isn't really catching. I think he's obviously now negotiating the traffic himself, so it's going to give me some space and buy me some time, but the pace is really poor, and I'm really struggling to get the nose in for corners here, especially for the swimming pool section. So let's try and keep it going here, but Sainz could still be a threat at the end of the race, like I said. I'm in rich mix now to try and counteract the damage, but the lap times are not improving. 17.8 is not great, but Sainz is not making any signs of catching me, so it's good so far, but I don't know how much longer for. I mean, once Sainz clears the traffic, surely he's going to have some good pace and he'll be able to catch me, but I'm very surprised if he doesn't. But right now the gap is 8 seconds, but I don't know how genuine that is. 17.1, pace is improving slightly, however Sainz has officially cleared the traffic. He's catching me now, 5.7, and we've got 8 laps to go in this Grand Prix. It's going to be a very tense ending to this race, and I think I'm going to be up against it in the final few laps. Right, I'm just starting to lose a little bit of pace now. The tyres are just starting to get away from me a little bit. I can just feel that they just haven't got that grip. And Sainz is now 4.5 behind me with 5 laps to go. And it's getting slightly better. The gap isn't coming down as fast as I thought, but I'm running out of rich mix, which is going to cost me a couple of tenths a lap. So it's going to be very close. Okay, we're coming up, I think, to a slow moving car. It's Sergio Perez who's got some sort of issue. I'm going to have to go around the outside of him there. That's going to give me a little bit of time on Sainz and Bottas, but they were 2.5 seconds behind me. Now they're going to lose a heap of time because of Perez, so it's going to buy me a little bit more time for a few more laps, but they were 2.5 seconds near to me at one point, so this is going to be a very hard last couple of laps, and my pace has really dropped off it as I lock up hugely into the first corner, and Sainz is actually... I can't see him anywhere. Oh, Bottas. I don't know what's going on behind, but they seem to have just vanished off the face of the earth. Also, I've just looked at it. My front wing seems to have gotten even more orange than what it was. I can't. That's my eyes deceiving me. Oh, my front wing's gotten worse, because it definitely feels like it's gotten worse, and I haven't hit anything, so I wonder maybe like bits of debris have flown off it or something, but the car definitely feels worse than what it was. I mean, look at the understeer through there. I'm having to get out the throttle through a normally flat corner, so just goes to show the damage I have and how much easing I've taken to corners. I'm locking up literally everywhere, and every corner is just a real challenge in these conditions. But I don't think Sainz and Bottas are going to be close enough now, as we now go to lap 37. We've got 3 laps to go here, so let's take it very easily and bring the car home, because it right now doesn't want to turn into any corners at all. Okay, so I've now officially run out of rich mixture, so I'm going to have to go back up to standard now this lap. The gap is 3.5 to Sainz, make that 3.2 now. So they're once again starting to catch the pair of them. Bottas and Sainz are literally line astern. They've been like that all race. But, 2 laps, 3.2 seconds. I think I've got it, but I'm going to have to crank it down to standard right about now to make it to the end on fuel. And my tyres are not looking great either, so it's all getting very tense here in Monaco in these last few late stages of the Grand Prix. 2.5 seconds now, so they're taking a chunk at me in the first sector, and I'm just locking up into every corner, almost full lock, trying to get the nose in. So this is going to be a very tense final up of the Grand Prix. Okay, through to back, understeering very wide there. Now through the swimming pool chicane, just a little bit of a lift through the second part. Now taking it very easy. Sainz and Bottas are literally on my rear. You can see the arrow there into Raskas, locking up the right front for the final time on the last lap. I'm okay for fuel, just got to navigate this final corner for the final time. Sainz will have DRS, but luckily I've got enough of a gap, and I'm going to win the Monaco Grand Prix and win my 3rd race of the season. But that was a very tense end to the race there, and that could have been, luckily, I think if Perez had not complicated Sainz and Bottas' race, it could have been a hell of a lot closer there. But wow, that was a very, very close finish, and luckily we just managed to edge it there. So a race win for us in Monaco there, but wow, that was a very good race, and my pace was good up until the front wing damage, which was maybe my fault. I'll have to watch it back, but that was a great race, and now we move on to the next race in Canada. But first of all, let's look at the final race results. And as you can see, official confirmation as I win the Monaco Grand Prix, with Carlos Sainz coming home in P2 with Bottas just behind him in P3. Then Daniel Ricciardo in P4, 4th Ferrari, good result for them, with Verstappen in P5, Lewis Hamilton in P6, and then my teammate Fernando Alonso in P7. Very good pace with him today. And overall, the early team doing some good solid results, with Lance Stroll in P8 and Sebastian Vettel had a 10th place grid penalty, I believe, down in P9. Esteban Ocon getting a point there for McLaren Honda, so good job from them. And Nico Hulkenberg in lofty heights up in P11 there. Felix Rosenqvist running at the top 12. But looking at the Drivers' Championship now, you can see that I'm 10 points clear of Bottas there, so very impressive stuff, and 27 points clear of Carlos Sainz. And 29 points clear of Lewis Hamilton also, so very impressive stuff. Both Ferraris there really not getting going. Alonso doing a good job of being just behind the Ferrari cars there, so looking very good in the drivers and also in the constructors, as now we're solidly in P2 there with a little bit of a gap now to Red Bull and also getting a little bit on Mercedes that race. So overall a very good Grand Prix here in Monaco, and hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you didn't, leave a big thumbs up on the video. Let's try and smash 150 likes because it is Monaco, it's a crown jewel, and hope you guys have enjoyed this particular episode. Also, if you're around here, why not subscribe to my channel for future F1 content, and hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you haven't seen any videos on screen right now, then I do urge you to go check them out if you haven't done so already. But thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.